It becomes something that now you can see and you have evidence for. It's no longer just a possibility. Infinitesimal, infinite amount of frequencies. That focus creates that laser light into the intention. The wave-particle duality. So the wave-particle duality is the first principle that really, I would say it's the first one that quantum physics really dove into. And it's looking at where particles exist both as waves and particles. And so the wave-particle duality is a fundamental concept. Again, it's one of the first that was explored that suggests that particles such as electrons and photons can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like behaviors depending on how they are observed or measured. And so there's a big experiment. In our Millionaire Inner Circle, I showed the video of how when one experiment was done, you could see the particles exhibit wave-like patterns, and when there is another observation that's done, you could see the particles exhibited wave-like particle-like evidence. And so what this does is it blows out our notion that, or the idea that things are as they seem. You know, one of the things that I decided as a young person, and I knew for sure as a young person, is there's more than what we see with our eyes. I knew there was something more to the universe than what we could taste, what we can feel, what we can experience. And this expresses that, this proves it, that depending on how things are observed, things can be a wave or things can be a particle. And so what does that mean for us? This highlights that there's an inherent probabilistic and dynamic nature of the quantum world. So things can exist in different states until observed. Once they're observed, they collapse into a single state. You're looking for waves, you see waves. When you look at it a different way, you see particles. And so it's all based on the observer. It's what are you focused on? Same thing like the radio waves. You know, radio waves are all around us. You can literally tune into, an infinitesimal, infinite amount of frequencies. So radio waves can be quantized into particles called photons. So your intentions are just like that. There is an infinite number of frequencies that you can tap into. Your intentions become that part of you that becomes more focused and particle-like. So as the observer, you tune into a specific frequency. You tune into a specific wavelength. And now that becomes a particle. It's no longer a wave that's moving. It becomes a point in time. It becomes something that's observable. It becomes something that's specific. It becomes something that now you can see and you have evidence for. It's no longer just a possibility. So your intentions, when they're focused, become particle-like. When you concentrate your energy and intention, it's like tuning your intention wave into a specific station. It's like saying, even, you know, I've got my cellular phone. When I dial a certain number, I mean, how many phone numbers how many specific combinations of numbers can I type into my phone? And depending on the combination, I can get one of a billion people, correct? Right? And again, it's a frequency. So your energy, your intention is like fine tuning your intention into a specific station, into a specific frequency, into a specific object of desire. So the focused attention on that desired outcome can increase the likelihood of the outcome manifesting. So there's always the question of, what are you tuning into? What are you tuning into? Wealth is a frequency. Poverty is a different frequency. Loving relationships is a certain frequency. Abusive relationships is a different frequency. Health and vitality is one frequency. Cancer is a different frequency. What are you focused on? And again, that focus creates that laser light into the intention, into that particle. It turns all of these possibilities into that one specific particle. You tune into that station. Now, how disciplined are you with your intention? It's a question I want you to ask yourself right now. What frequency are you tuning into? And again, I've said this a number of times, is, people may say, well, I do my affirmations, or I have my vision, or I read, what my desires are every morning. Fabulous. Great. I love it. I will applaud you. But what are you focused on the rest of the 16, 18 hours that you're awake? Do you read your intentions and focus on wealth and abundance and health and vital relationships in the morning or in the evening, or sometime during the day? You read it kind of half awake. And again, there's value in first thing in the morning, right? We'll save that for another discussion. But do you read it once and then go through your day stressed, angry, worried, full of anxiety over the bills, over what's not happening, over things not being there? So we want to start to tune into that frequency. What happens when we're not quite tuned in? I've been on drives to Vegas often where I tune into one frequency, but as I travel, frequencies shift, right? I've got to fine tune that a little bit. And what am I getting? I'm getting a little bit of both worlds. I'm getting a little bit of country, and I'm getting a little rock and roll. Is there a song like that? Little country, little rock and roll. I'm kind of in the middle of two worlds, right? I have to keep fine tuning that because it's starting to get fuzzy. It's starting to get staticky. It's starting to get distracted. So how often are we paying attention so we turn all those possibilities into a specific intention, focusing on what we desire? So that's the wave particle duality.